This is Laquitha. I want to talk a little bit about the horror film The Woman in the Yard. This came out in 2025. It's rated PG 13. It is a Blumhouse film, and I was able to watch this film online, streaming it, and I found it to be pretty entertaining. I'm not a huge fan of horror films, but I wanted to check out a number of films that I had missed out on, and this was a pretty good option for me. The film is very much a psychological thriller. One of the big things about this film that sticks with me the most is that you don't really get a resolution at the end. You really are left wondering if the main character actually succeeded in the objective that they had during the film, which in this film was basically just to, sabotage and destroy her own life because she was not content with the life that she was in. And it really takes how with some mothers, how them being in certain situations can lead to depressive episodes, to them making massive life shifts and changes in order to change that, and what can happen when you're not able to actually do that. And so we kind of see how this plays out in this woman's life and how it impacts her children and also her husband, and in the end how it ultimately consumes her. One of the things that was also unsettling about this film for me was that it wasn't so much about gore, and there were jump scares and certain things like that. Definitely some supernatural things going on that would make you make your skin kind of get chills. But the bigger issue was the psychological episode that the woman was having, and you couldn't tell the difference between what she was projecting into her space and what was actually happening. And then at the end of the film, with it being as, at that point, at the height of the terror that was building in the film, you're really not sure if ultimately, one of the most terrible things that could happen did actually happen. And then you're left wondering if she actually really wanted for that to take place because of how she perceived it in the aftermath of that. So it was a really well executed psychological thriller, really kind of getting you trapped in the maze of this woman's mind and how she was processing and seeing things, not sure about what was real and what was not. What the timeline was. There was a few flashbacks that I wasn't sure about with the husband, if they were things that had happened prior to the events that took place, or if it was something that happened, she was remembering it before, or did any of the film actually take place and it was all supposed to be her in some type of limbo space and just imagining what could have happened. So from that perspective, it was very open-ended and kind of left it open to a little bit of interpretation. I know there's probably a lot of different ones out there, but definitely worth a watch if you get a chance to check it out.